Hi, I'm back again with the winter collage. I'm going to show you how to make the little penguin for the collage. This is kind of a little happy feet type penguin. It doesn't take too long again, but you do need to follow the directions. So I'm going to show you how to do it now. I will give you these small pieces of construction paper. If you look at our background, you can see you don't really want the penguin too big because you want all of this pretty sky you made in the back to show. So this size should be good. And we're going to use a regular Crayola marker and a Sharpie to start. So the first thing I'm going to draw is the head for the penguin. I'm going to use my Crayola marker. Any water-based marker, praying or whatever you've got would work fine as long as it's not a permanent marker. And I think I actually have tried the Mr. Sketch and I prefer the Crayola over that. But if you have Mr. SketchUp, would be fine too. It just is a little more green when it dries. So I'm going to start with the head for the penguin, about the size of like a super ball, maybe golf ball, a little smaller. I mean, they could be various sizes too, but I make mine about that size, so that big around, like your finger, like that. Okay, so and then for the body, very simple. I'm just going to make an upside down U like this. If you go off a little bit or you want it a little larger or smaller, you can adjust that with the wings. This is just sort of a guideline. So then I am going to go back in and make the wings of my penguin and then color them in with this. We want some value in here, meaning some lighter and darker areas. So you don't need to get the whole thing solid black. You might want to leave a few white areas, a few lighter areas, because it's gonna, those will pick up the black because we're gonna put water on this in just a minute. So then I'm gonna do my other wing, and this one's a little small. I'm gonna come back out there. And again, just scribble this in. This is really quick. And then I'm gonna put my Sharpie or my Crayola down now and pick up my Sharpie, but we will be coming back to this. So leave it handy. Now I want to go into the face for my penguin. So I'm going to start right in the center with his beak. You could do a triangle beak like that if you want. I'm kind of doing an upside down V with a curve at the bottom and then this sort of line with a dip like that. You could just do a diamond shaped beak. Some kind of beak in the center of the penguin's face. So I'm going to go ahead and draw that in, not too big, like that. And if it's not perfect, that gives it a little personality. That's great. And then right to either side of the beak, I'm going to make small little black dots for the eyes. And then this is probably the only tricky part, I think, is right about here where this line comes for the side of the beak, right here. So between the top of the beak, but before the eye, you just want to kind of make a straight line up. It's like an upside down U, and then curve back into the side of the face. I'm going to do the same thing opposite on the other side. So we have our symmetrical penguin. So just two lines like that. You may need to get a little help with that. And if it's not exactly like the example, it's still going to be a cute little penguin, so don't worry. Then I'm just going to fill in the top and go around the head, again leaving maybe a little white with, again, my Crayola marker. You also can color in the beak at this point. You do not have to color in the beak, and you can use whatever you've got. I'm using a silver marker. I have some silver Sharpies that are on order, so if you're not doing this really soon, I could probably loan those out, but I don't know how long Amazon is taking these days. So Anyway, I've got now my penguin all ready to go. And this is kind of a cool trick that I learned. I don't take credit for this. This was a teacher pay teacher penguin idea. But you take this water, just a regular watercolor brush, and then just paint over with plain water on the black. And you can go kind of a little out of the lines to get that little fuzziness. We're going to cut it out anyway. I mean, if you get a little on the stomach, that's totally fine. Go one wing, other wing. It can be pretty quick. You said you want, it looks a little kind of blue when it's wet, but when it dries, it'll look more like a grayish. So don't stress out about that. And I'm going to put some water at the top of the head, trying to avoid the face as much as I can. But if you get a little on there, it can just be a shadow. So don't worry. And then just going around the head. Okay, so then I'm going to let that dry. I had some kids cut it today when it was a little too wet and it started falling apart. So this doesn't take too long to dry, maybe like 5-10 minutes, but you don't want to cut it when it's super, super wet. I'm going to go ahead and just cut mine now and be really careful. So you're just going to go around the body of the penguin, cut it out carefully, don't cut the head off. And you could make more than one penguin. I only shared as much construction paper as I had with you, but if your teacher has more, or you want to use the scraps, you could make like a baby. I'm going to do just one penguin because I want to put some trees in my collage. So now I have my cutout penguin. And then I'm going to take my background and a piece of plain white paper. Could be just copy paper, scratch paper, any kind of paper would work for making snow. You could even use white paint or cotton or whatever you have if you don't have white copy paper, which sometimes I don't have it lately. But anyway, so I've got my penguin and then I've got my white copy paper and I want to make some snow. So I'm just going to tear the paper, not up and down short wise. I want to go the long side and just tear. If you have a friend, you could share the paper maybe. And then I'm going to make this into some snow at the bottom of my page. You could just do one if you want. I'm going to do two. And then I'm going to kind of fool around with a little bit. With collages, you do kind of sometimes need to play around with the balance and the placement and figure out like, where do I like him and how is this going to come together? So I'm going to decide to glue mine kind of like this. So you're going to just start from the bottom. I'm going to glue my first piece down. So I'm going to turn it over, get my glue stick, and Elmer's would work too. It's a little messier. And then just glue my first piece to the bottom of my paper. Press it down. And I'm going to see, okay, where do I want my penguin? And my second piece. So I want the bottom of his body covered up. So I'm going to go a little higher over here. I'm going to go right about there, just a little slightly off center, but you can do yours however you think it looks best. So I'm going to go ahead and put some glue where I want my penguin on this white paper and glue him down. Now, I'm just gluing the body down because I thought it looked kind of cute how it's like 3D like that. So you do not have to glue the head down. You could put a little dot of glue just to secure it because you don't want this to break off, but you can leave it, sticking out a little. Just makes it a little bit more three-dimensional. And then I'm going to glue my last piece of white. The bottom. Put your cap on your glue stick. I even forget that sometimes. And then I'm gonna press everything down, make sure I like it. You can still make changes while the glue is a little wet still. If you want, you could sign your name on the front now, or decide, leave it without the name, just keep it on the back. And then I'm gonna add in just some silhouettes of some winter trees. Oh, and I just saw one thing I forgot. If you want, you can give your penguin little pink cheeks. I'm using a pink marker. You could use a crayon, you could use colored pencil, whatever you've got. Another Crayola marker. I'm giving it some little pink cheeks. All right, so that's almost there. I'm gonna just put some trees to kind of give it some balance and some interest. I'm gonna do some larger trees over here, so I'm just gonna go a straight line up, maybe a shorter one next to it, and then I'm just gonna diagonal line down, and I'm just using a Crayola. So these are like silhouettes of trees, like it's nighttime. So I have 2 trees over there, and then maybe I'll do 1, 2, 3 trees over here. You can have as many or few trees as you want. You don't even have to have trees at all. But this is just what I'm doing. And then I think I am finished with my penguin collage. So I hope you enjoyed this project. And I hope you can share with me your art. There is a display coming up, so I would be happy to take any submissions for the art show that's coming up of these that turned out really cool, which I'm sure they will. So have fun, try your best, and I'll see you around school. Bye.